everyone, how's it going? It's Greg Tito here for the D&D news. That sounds odd when I say it that way, but it's for D&D news. Hi, how's it going? Good to see ya. I am going to be tweeting as I'm talking because I can multitask, usually pretty good. Sometimes I do it on Dragon Talk, and sometimes I'm able to do it not at all. So I'm trying some new things here. How are you guys doing? You excited? Hey, what's up, Majestic, Real Japesy, and Akeisha, Crystal Fire? I'm very quiet. Thank you. I think Pelham is working on it as we speak, so I'm just going to continue tweeting as I make it a thing. It says mute in front. Should that not be muted?
No, that's on. Yeah. That one. It is on.
Okay.
Yep.
The red light is the on light. How does it sound? Any better? Can I hear me? Can you hear me? Still real low. Still real low. So I'm gonna do. Oh no, maybe better. Now it's better. Thank you. Thank you for making it so. I am not upset, but I am ready for D&D news. So we got episode 110 coming from Dice Camera Action in just about 53 minutes, which is pretty exciting. Can you imagine 110 episodes of anything? Once we got to 100 episodes in a TV show back in the day, that's when it hit syndication money. That was the big deal. That would usually be like 4 or 5 seasons in. Plenty of material for the not network channels to syndicate. I'm getting like lessons on the way the TV business used to work. But now we're up for 110 for Dice Camera Action. So we hit the syndication money, I guess, is what Chris Perkins is rolling in now. Actually, really, he's just rolling in these. That's right, gold dragons. Ooh, they look really good on that camera. Do you want to buy them? Do you want to eat them? You can. All right, I was going to give them to Jarl Axel. Oh, see, I'm just throwing it to him. Haha. Here you go, buddy. Let me finish this tweet because I got distracted. I am not upset, but I am ready for D&D news on twitch.tv/DND. That's right, that's where we're at. How is your day going? Mine's not going so well, I'm not gonna lie. I crunched my car in a parking garage, pulling into a spot that was too small for my little car, I guess, and hit a pillar that was made of concrete, smashed in the side panel there. It's one of those things that is super cosmetic and doesn't really matter and is going to cost tons of money to fix. So at least that's what I'm thinking right now. Maybe I'm being a little too naysay, but it's putting me in a funk. That happened on Monday morning, and I've been in a funk. But things that get me out of a funk are this awesome shirt. Check this out. This is one of the shirts available from Death Saves, and it's got Lord Soth, right? I can't go wrong with him. He's a cool guy, Soth. It's really hard to look at a camera and do things backwardly, as well as when I'm pointing towards my belly. I don't know if that's necessarily good content or not. But, cool shirt. I love that Joe Manganiello's company of Death Save is putting out apparel that you can buy online, and we know where it is. I'm pointing towards it, although I know it goes out of print occasionally. But if you haven't checked out that store, go ahead and do so. There's some really cool shirts, as I said. There's also pins and stickers that you can get on there as well. And we may, I'm saying may, I'm not going to commit to this 100%, but we may have some of these shirts available to give away to our streamers at TwitchCon, which I'm super psyched about. So just want to throw that out there. You might start to see more and more people on the D&D channel, as well as just playing Dungeons & Dragons around the interwebs wearing shirts and or pins and or stickers that look similar to all this stuff. So look for that out there. Speaking of new things that are available, I'm jumping the gun a little bit, and I want to talk about Dungeon Mayhem. You guys might have already seen that over next door when they were doing Dragon Plus. But this is a new fun game. Comes in this small form factor package. These are the instructions. These are all of the instructions right here. Single page. Dink. Dink. The iconography is really, really great. You're able to play as one of 3 characters. I'm not going to take these decks out of their packs, but you'll be able to see them. That's one of the characters. Her name is Leah. She has a title at the end of her name, but I'm not Leah the Radiant. That's what it is. That's what it is. Leah the Radiant. She is a paladin, and that's one of the characters you can play as in Dungeon Mayhem. You'll have a deck of cards, and this is I believe that's the Rogue, who I believe is named Azan the Rogue. You know, I should almost have all this stuff on a document in front of me. In fact, I do, but I decided to do it by memory because I'm a crazy person. But this is a super fun, fast-paced game. Comes in a box just like this. You open it up, and you can use all those things here. A couple of point counters and things, hit point things that you use. I like that it has got that on one side, and then just the ampersand right there. It looks good on a shelf. If you stack it that way. Super small form factor. You play really fast. Game is over probably in like 10-15 minutes at the most. And you just want to play again. You want to go through all the permutations. I love it. It's one of those things that you can just do in between something else is the palate cleanser, or spend a whole night playing a bunch of games and then keeping score and track how you do. I dig it. No, this is not a subscriber chat only, Azulo, but it's going on. Hey, Fuzzbox, how are you? Good to see ya. Yeah, I'm excited about Dungeon Mayhem. Ever since we announced it a couple weeks ago, the artwork is super cool. We're working with that artist on doing some previews for people as it gets closer to the release, which is on November 16th. So look for it then. Speaking of things that are in stores. You know, there's an adventure. There's an adventure that's coming out. It is out. It's Waterdeep Dragon Heist. You can get it everywhere now. Everywhere. That's right. Waterdeep Dragon Heist is a fantabulous D&D adventure book. I am digging it so far. As a dungeon master, I've played. I have to pull my shirt out because it's starting to bug me. I'm doing that '90s thing where I'm wearing a shirt on top of a shirt. Which means I'm legit. I'm totally authentic by doing that. But it is so fun. I dig Dragon Heist a lot. It's my jam of a printed adventure which has lots of threads and lots of things that you can use in your game, and you can weave it in however you want, or however your players want more accurately. It's easy to onboard. It starts in a tavern. There's interesting characters right out of the bat. Right off the bat? Not right out of the bat. That'd be out of the gate, not out of the bat. And I dig it. So jump in while you can. You don't have any excuses. It's available everywhere right now. And that, Crystal Fire, it used to be for long sleeve shirts. I would do that too. I would wear the long sleeve shirts and then the shirt on top of it. That's for sure. And what's cool about these Death Save shirts is they have these little details here on the sides as well. I don't know if you saw that, but I did. Yeah, Dragon Heist. Do it. I'm gonna have a third session, I believe, on Friday at my place. I've been trying to get Shelly Mazanoble to join. I don't know if she can do it on Friday, but she will be. And it was part of the deal to get her to play with my wife, so she's super cool. And you get these coins. Is perfect thematic part of the Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Heist storyline are these gold dragons, and I've got a couple of these, so I was able to use them with my players as a tactile thing, and we're trying to figure out a way to get these into people's hands. But I do know there's at least one way that you will be able to, and that is purchasing the Platinum Edition to Dragon Heist from Beadle and Grimm's Pandemonium Warehouse. That will be out in October. One of the items that you will get within that box, including is this dragon coin, I believe. I'm not 100% certain, but I'm pretty sure that's true, as well as some, I'm using it to comb my eyebrows now, as well as the badge of the watch, and some other really cool prop items, letters, and signet things from the adventure itself, as well as debundle. I dropped the coin. That's gone forever now. Good thing I've got a spare. It's a super cool way to for Dungeon Masters to get all the bespoke things that you might need to play through Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Very interesting. I suggest if you're interested in buying that you get a hold of as many of these coins as you can to augment all that. To that end, I don't think I want to do this right now, but I would. Is what double-sided? Oh, the map. Is the map double-sided? Yes, it is huge. I believe, I don't know what the exact dimensions are, but it is double-sided. One side has is for Dungeon Masters with a lot more locations labeled along it. The other one is for players. But I think the Dungeon Masters one doesn't give anything away too much, and is just more useful for the player. So I've been fine with showing them that side. But I thought you were talking about the coin. That's why I talked about it there. But yes, the coin is double-sided, and those are the two sides. This, of course, is a gold dragon depicted on that side, and this is, I believe, Agaron, the founder of Waterdeep. That looks like him. That for now, that is the only way you can get one of those coins. That is correct. In the Platinum Edition Blade Corota. But I think next week on D&D News, I'm going to be giving away some of these coins. So make sure you come back here next week. Same bat channel, same bat time, and I'll be giving away some of those. So look forward to that. Yeah, they're just amazing bespoke things. We also have these Harbor Moon coins, which are even bigger. These are not available in the Platinum Edition as far as I know, but we will be giving us a few of these away as well. So tell your friends. I'll be tweeting more about this. I didn't want to do it, kind of as a surprise thing, but I wanted to get more people to know about it. So these, I'll be giving away at least one of these next week on D&D News. They almost look like you can do like horns, like. Rah, rah. Anywho, Dragon House is available now. Tell me how it's going. If you guys are playing it, it's gonna be lots of fun. You will enjoy it. I'm sure. One other cool thing that I want to make sure you guys know about Waterdeep Dragon Heist is Sirenscape. Do you guys use Sirenscape in your game? I've always wanted to. I was always extremely interested in how it worked, and I was lucky enough to download it this summer and play around with it, and it was one of the inspirations of why I wanted to start dungeon mastering again. It's fantastic. It is a soundboard app. You can download a whole bunch of different sound packs with it, including new Dragon Heist, Waterdeep Dragon Heist sound packs available today, I believe. They are super cool, recorded from some of the voices are recorded from people here in this office, including Chris Lindsay, who you just heard on Dragon Plus, doing some Mert. He does some other voices on that. Chris Perkins does his voice of Volo Thamp Gedarn, the lovable Volo, of course. And it's nice little read aloud text, things that you are quoted in the adventure itself. Ben Looms from Sirenscape went ahead and recorded almost every single dialogue that's in quotes in the adventure itself. And so if you are able to just do it with a touch of a button, luckily I use it on my laptop that has a touch screen on it. I'm able to call up those sounds, and I connected my computer to a Bluetooth speaker, so it's not like it's coming from me, it's in the room itself. And it adds this great ambiance that I would always wanted to have as a dungeon master in D&D games. But I just, playing a playlist or a whole bunch of discrete tracks of game soundtracks and things like that, that was always cool. But it was really hard to match up what was happening in the adventure with what was happening in the track, right? And Sirenscape does that really, really well, where you can be like, all right, now we're going from it being a peaceful tavern to it being a noisy tavern to it being a battle in a tavern, and here are some of the sounds of what happens in the battles. And it doesn't, I don't think you would want to use it as a one-to-one, like every single action in the game would have a sound effect, but it's really, really cool from from an atmospheric sound point, to bring that up. And Benjamin Looms at Sirenscape is a master of manipulating the sonic waves, to put it plainly. And he can go into areas that all are within Dragon Heist, and all of a sudden you're in this shop, like for example, and there's a sound of what that shop sounds like, right? Or his conception of what that sounds like. And then if you are orally inclined, you can fine tune all those settings to your heart's content and make it yours. Make that sound set yours. So can't recommend Sirenscape enough. It's super cool. The Waterdeep Dragon Heist sound packs are a wonderful addition, and I think they do a fantastic job of following along with the chapter headings in Waterdeep Dragon Heist itself. So it's super easy to use. At least I've found it quite intuitive, and you will too. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. Ooh, I feel like I should play some more sounds from that. So while I'm talking, I will indeed be loading up Sirenscape so you can hear it. And luckily, we've got this wonderful microphone that picks up it all. Cool. What do you guys think? Have anybody in chat ever used... Oh, there, Alex Rogero says he has used Sirenscape. Looks like it's not quite out yet, but it will be out soon. Yeah, I think they were aiming for today, but it doesn't look like it is available right now, but they are aiming for it to happen as soon as possible. So apologize for giving any bad info there, but it will be available soon. All right, did you hear that? Here, let me hear. This is what the yawning portal sounds like with the raucous drinking. Can you guys hear that? Yeah, sorry, I'm totally doing this on the fly because I'm fun. I like that. Oh, wait. Hey guys, Dice Camera action is going to start in about 38 minutes. This is a fun... what am I talking about? They'll answer you in the chat.
Hello, thank God, chronicler, wizard, and celebrity, at your service. I trust you've noticed the violence in our fair city these past 10 days. I haven't seen so much blood since my last visit to Baldur's Gate. But now I fear I have misplaced a friend with this odious malevolence. My friend's name is Floom Black. He's got more beauty than brains, and I worry he took a bad way home a couple nights ago and was kidnapped, or worse. If you agree to track him down with all due haste, I can offer you 10 dragons apiece now, and give each of you 10 times that when you find Floom. May I prevail upon you in my hour of need?
May I, you? Mother, may I? And then all of a sudden, a brawl breaks out. Yeah. That's cool, Thorg223. I almost thought about doing that something similar where I wouldn't tell any of... where I wouldn't tell them, and then all of a sudden I would like hit a thing, and then it would start to pop up. I wanted something like that, but nothing quite in that vein quite yet. And I also really like that idea of if Chris just suddenly showed up, that would be pretty darn cool. I'm not gonna lie. And maybe I'll do that for my players too. So here's the shop I was talking about. I won't tell you what shop it is, but then again, I just touched it with a press of the button, and it's not going to be super loud. But it's just a small shop in Waterdeep, and what it might mean. And I love how just with, like, again, the touch of a button, that changes everything into feeling what it is. And I liked that there were definitely points when I was using this where my players didn't necessarily notice that it had changed, and it just felt like and I've used this analogy I think before in describing Sirenscape. It's almost like a good dungeon master uses music and backgrounds and sound effects like a good sound editor does in film, where you don't necessarily realize that you're being shown these musical cues or the change in atmosphere, right? You just kind of feel it. That's the idea, right? So this shop feels completely different than the Yawning Portal did, right? And then I can click on something else and I'll go to something completely different, and it'll feel completely different. But it's not like an immediate like, oh, we're in a shop now, and then here's how it changes. You know, there's going to be more subtle changes in between, and I don't have the time to create these soundscapes on my own. I don't even have the skills, let alone the time to do it. But that's what's great about this. You can purchase it and get all of it, and it's quite good in that way. So I can't recommend Sirenscape enough, and I can't recommend these awesome sound packs whenever they get released. Hopefully some point today or tomorrow for those of you to use in your games for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I hope you do. All right, moving on up to the east side. We are going to talk about, let's talk about what's going on in the news. Well, we were already talking about Waterdeep Dragon Heist, so why don't we show off a little bit of this. Right, so comicbook.com wrote this awesome review, and I wish the chrome of this stuff wasn't showing up here on the top. Wrote this awesome review that I just wanted to highlight, so we could talk about it a little bit. I quite enjoyed it. Thank you, Christian Hoffer, for writing this amazing review of what's going on inside Waterdeep Dragon Heist. I think this pull quote is amazing. It could turn into D&D's best 5th edition adventure yet, which is high praise, really. There's been a lot of adventures that we put out, and we focused on story for D&D 5th edition. I think we're in the 5 or 6 different adventure books that we put out, if you include Tales from the Yawning Portal on there. And so to sort of think that this is the best one yet is fantastic. So thank you for that, Christian. And this is just one of many reviews. I think I shared the Polygon one from Charlie Hall last week, and the reviews just keep coming in very soundly that this is a wonderful adventure, as well as a great introduction to D&D for folks that may be lapsed players or maybe want to come back into the fold, so to speak. So make it so. All right. I also wanted to shout out our friends at Bleeding Cool. That's right. I believe that's Mr. Gavin. Yes. So I dug this write-up as well that Gavin Sheehan wrote because this pull quote works out really well. So we really could have just done a coloring book. In fact, there are a few other coloring books out there on the market with Dungeons and Dragons on them that just have the artwork on them, and I think those are really cool. But there's something to the amount of writing that Adam Lee, one of the story editors here on Dungeons and Dragons, put into making this not just a coloring book. There is lots of flavor. I think I've done a huge bunch of readings of some of the poetry that Adam has put in here as well. So worthwhile. Thank you again for this write-up, Gavin. It's great. If you wanted to read about it more, Lauren's got that link in there as well. And I think this is a great gift for anybody on your list who may enjoy coloring and Dungeons & Dragons, or maybe not even either, but maybe just one of them, and this is a way to introduce them to. I think coloring is a fantastic pastime, especially if you have young kids. Coloring with them, it's very therapeutic. It feels like you're doing something, working on a project with them together, as well as being some relaxing. So I do it, and then they learn some D&D along the way, which is super great. We want more kids playing the Ds and the D&D. And then finally, this is kind of out of left field, but Roberto Aguirre Sacasa, he's the creator of a hit show. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean for that to be up there. He's the creator of a hit show you may have heard of called Riverdale. which is that it? Yes, that's it. So we at Dungeons and Dragons have a bit of a connection to Riverdale. He's not pictured in this picture here, but Cole Sprouse plays Jughead. Right, he plays Jughead on Riverdale, and Dylan Sprouse, you may know from Force Grey as the Furbog. I'm blanking on his name. It's something about being tall. Tyrrell Tall Guy. That's right. So they are twins, Dylan Sprouse and Cole Sprouse, and there is always talk of Dylan potentially joining the Riverdale cast for whatever reason. That would be fantabulous and quite fun. But this even a greater connection now exists between the Riverdale show and Dungeons and Dragons, and that the next season of Riverdale may include an episode or perhaps an entire through line involving Dungeons and Dragons, and I think that's pretty cool. I wonder if all of the time that Dylan and Cole spent playing Dungeons and Dragons in the back room of Meltdown Comics in Los Angeles had anything to do with that, or if it just has to do with the fact that Dungeons and Dragons is just on everybody's lips these days, especially creators in Hollywood, writers, directors, costumers, makeup folks. All of them are joining Dungeons and Dragons games all across the world, but especially in Hollywood, and it's super great to see. So I can't wait to hear more, and if I can use all of the nepotism I can to get Dylan Sprouse on a roll in Riverdale, that'd be fantastic. But at the very least, I'd love to just speak to him and his brother about how Dungeons and Dragons can be a part of season 3, and maybe even speak to Roberto about all this. So good stuff there. If you haven't watched Riverdale yet, I suggest you do. It's kind of a fun show. It's not what you think. It's not Archie, the images that you may remember from the comic books back in the day. It definitely feels a lot more grown up, while at the same time being compelling in its own right. So check it out if you haven't, and definitely if you're a fan of D&D, check it out so that you can know what's happening in season 3 with the Dungeons and Dragons through line that'll be going on there too. One final thing I wanted to shout out in the news. I don't think I have a graphic for it, but it's just something that's cool to see. Cameron Kunzelman over at Kotaku wrote up a awesome thing on Saturday over the weekend. He's the weekend editor at Kotaku, so that makes sense. But it's a supplement that he's found on the Dungeon Masters Guild that I thought was really cool, and I'm going to start using in my campaign as well. And it's just a quick guide called "Here's to Crime: A Guide to Capers and Heists." So this was written by Jimmy Merritt. It's up on the Dungeon Masters Guild right now. It's only for $2. But what I like about this is that it is a quick way to incorporate some narrative storytelling and story-driven stuff in your development of a heist in Waterdeep. It doesn't necessarily have to be in Waterdeep. It could just be a heist that you're playing in Dungeons & Dragons. But I like the way of framing it in a story reason and then giving D&D 5th edition mechanical benefits or potentially penalties based on how things get role played out of there. So it's kind of like they took some of the systems from other storytelling games. Even in the description, he specifically calls out Blades in the Dark, which is an awesome new RPG that's out there and plays with some narrative storytelling that you can do in role-playing games. And he adapted that and brought it into how you can use it in 5th edition, and it seems really cool. So I'm gonna check it out, and I hope you do too. But I also just love the fact that places like Kotaku, which used to be very video game centric, are just becoming more and more talking about what storytelling tabletop games can bring to it. So if you haven't already, there is a wealth of stuff at the Dungeon Masters Guild. I know Chris Lindsay and Alan Patrick spoke to Bart Carroll last hour during Dragon Plus a lot about what's up there, but it is fantastic, and I just wanted to highlight this one as well because it was worth highlighting, I think. Alrighty, so there's other things that I can potentially talk about. One of them is the ABCs, and well, actually, two of them are the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of the D and the D's. So these are awesome books written by Ivan Van Norman and illustrated by Caleb Cleveland. Ivan Van Norman, you may recognize, he was the Dungeon Master for all of the Off the Table sessions for the Stream of Many Eyes back in June. He also is appearing today on a episode of Podcast of Waterdeep, our week-long, no gosh, it's a 2-week-long promotion combining all of these amazing creators from different walks of life within the D&D community, including D&D live play audio podcasts, as well as folks from more of the streaming side of things, as well as authors such as Ivan and game designers such as Ivan. So that episode, I believe that Ivan guested on, is up right now. You can get Podcasts of Waterdeep right now on your Dungeon Delve feed. I believe episode 7 is the one that is up today. There's going to be 10 episodes total, and they're all telling a continuous story that is this massive collaboration that was dreamed up by Josh Peralt and Victoria Rogers, both of which are Dungeon Masters of their own shows. Victoria is the Dungeon Master for the Broadswords. Josh Peralt is the Dungeon Master for the Taking Initiative podcast. They each have had their episodes, and they brought in all these extra guests to their normal casts, as well as coordinated with all the Dungeon Masters, so each one of these episodes ties into the next. You don't necessarily need to know every single thing that occurred in the previous episodes to get it. But like a good continuous narrative in, say, like an HBO show or something like that, your enjoyment will be more rewarded the more you follow along the story, and certain threads were picked up and used by the other Dungeon Masters along the way. Super great. I love that idea of collaborative storytelling that happens with Dungeons and Dragons in general, and more specifically about the Podcasts of Waterdeep promotion that's out there now. And I just went into that whole tangent about Podcasts of Waterdeep because I saw Ivan Van Norman's name on the ABCs of D&D. These books are not out yet. They will be out on October 23rd. They are the type of book that you would love to read to your kid. I don't know how many of you have children out there or have to read to youngins, but every once in a while my kid picks a book that I'm like, God, not that book again. It's just boring. You don't enjoy it. These books are super fun. They're rhyming. There's a cadence and a meter to the language in it, plus all of the really evocative illustrations around Dungeons and Dragons characters is a big part of it. So once these are out, I think you'll get a lot more folks interested in learning more about them, and potentially you get them for parents on your list, or maybe just get it directly for your niece or nephew, or any of the above, and get it out there. Eldraz the Jedi. Yes. Yeah, that's the perfect age, I think. I think your 4-year-old will really pay attention to it. Oh, and teachers. Yes, of course. Oh, and Digitalized Nightmare. Yes, of course. When you babysit a kid, that is going to be fantastic. What fun that's going to be. I'm just reading through some of the comments here. Yes, Digitalized Nightmare. We talked about the Waterdeep Sirenscape a bunch and even played some clips. So go back and watch if you want to hear some more from that, maybe later on in the broadcast. Gosh, Dice Camera Action is starting in 20 minutes, you guys. That's very close. I moved to doing this for an hour a couple weeks ago, and I was like, oh, it's going to be really tough to fill an entire hour. Guess what? It's not. I can just apparently just blab on about Dungeons & Dragons stuff for a very long time. So I apologize and/or thank you for being here with me as we get ready for the next amazing episode of Dice Camera Action coming at you. It's episode 110, and it will be at you in 10 minutes. Now I'm just going to check and see something real quick before I say the words. Yes, there is going to be a very cool announcement at the end of Dice Camera Action, so you want to follow through all the way to the end and listen to that. But there's something that you need to know about what happened in the last episode if you haven't already. So the Xanathar may be dead, and Dieth may be the new leader of that guild. Oh, that sounds exciting. But Warrington Munt is rescued, and he won't leave without the smoke powder stash. So that's all going to happen in episode, all those story threads are going to be talked about in episode 110. The Return of Warrington is one of my favorites. I love when Chris does the GIF, and mostly the fact that he calls Paulton Pippin. That makes me very happy on some kind of visceral level, maybe. But very exciting. So yes, what was I talking about? I don't know. Some things. I mentioned a whole bunch of stuff. Oh yeah, let's talk about the core rulebook sets. These are not out yet, but they will be out yet soon. I love showing off this artwork, so I'll never stop. These are core sets. Here's all the stuff that will be in them. Player's Handbook, Monster Manual, Dungeon Master's Guild, Dungeon Master's Guide, all in this amazing slipcase. There will be several. There will be 2 versions of this. One is this version that has new covers as imagined by Hydro74, the same artist who did the Xanathar's Guide to Everything as well as the Volo's Guide to Monsters alternate covers. These are also denoted as alternate covers, so they'll be available in game stores only. But there's also other versions. I love this King Schnur look here. Yes, so good. There are also versions of the core sets with the original cover art with some little bit of tweaks to them. Dungeon Master's Guide in a cardboard slipcase that you can get for your Dungeon Master and or D&D player on your list. So that's good stuff. I can't wait for these. I think this kind of Baroque filigree type style just speaks to me. Gosh, I just want books that all look like this, really. So those will be out. When will they be out? Well, it's almost like I should look at my document to find out when they will be out. So those are October 30th is when the originals will be out, and on October 19th they'll be available in game stores. The alternate covers will be available in game stores. Oh, did I see someone? Yes, hi Potter Boy. Thank you for saying that you love Clerical Air. That is our new show, also set in Waterdeep. It's on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time. I'm a player in it. I play as a character called Fabian. He is a former cleric of Lathander who was blinded by looking at the sun for too long, possibly against his will. So more to come on that. We had our first session last week. It was tons of fun. Much more of a comedic bent, dungeon mastered by the amazing Lauren Urban, Oboe Crazy here in the chat. I love it, and I can't wait for you to start watching it. We're only 1 episode in, so there's not too much to catch up with. If you want to watch that episode today and then watch live our new episode tomorrow at Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, by all means, please do it. It's set in Waterdeep. We are members of the Dung Sweepers Guild in Waterdeep who clean up that town. We do some dirty work, but I think in the first session of 2 hours we rolled dice maybe about 5 times total, maybe 6. Very roleplay heavy. We like making each other laugh, and we wanted to have a group of characters that is all for the greater good. Not necessarily goody two shoes, but not dark or anti-heroes in any stretch of the imagination. I think all of us wanted to be something positive and good, and maybe even play against type for some of us, Demetrius. So that should be a lot of fun. Episode 2 is tomorrow. Go check it out if you can. Dung Sweepers Unite! Yes, it is on YouTube, War Priest. You may be able to watch that as we speak. So we got 15 minutes before Waterdeep, not before Waterdeep Dragon Heist comes out, because it's out already, but before Dice Camera Action episode 110 begins. Some other fun stuff I want to make sure and highlight. I also do have a booster box of minis that I wanted to open up, but I wanted to make sure everyone knew about this book, R.A. Salvatore's Timeless. It is a new novel starring the drow Drist de Orden, as well as 2 other drow you may know, Zach Nefane, who is the father of Drist, and Jarlaxle. Gosh, I can't get my fingers right. That guy, that Jarlaxle is over there. He is a major part of Timeless as well. So if you're interested in him, or if you want to know more about the Brigand Jarth and what they're all about, pick up Timeless. It's in stores now, and I believe it debuted at number 14 on the New York Times bestseller list for fiction, which is awesome to see, and many people are very excited about the return of Drizzt to bookstore shelves. So please go check it out if you can. We spoke to Bob Salvatore on Dragon Talk. I think that episode will be coming out this Thursday, but if you haven't seen the video of that, go check that out on the archive here at twitch.tv/DND or on the YouTubes, as previously mentioned. Again, I think that episode is coming out on the Dragon Talk feed this Thursday. So more about that and what's happening in Timeless, as well as what's going on with Bobby. So let's open up one of these. These are miniatures booster boxes from our friends at Wheeze Kids, and they're all themed for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. 4 miniatures will be in this box, and I'm just ripping it. I'm ripping it, you guys. Let's see. When I say ripping it, it sounds like I'm farting or something, but I'm not. I'm ripping this open. Ooh, who did I get here? This might be one of my favorite ones. Yes, I love it. It's a noble. You don't see a lot of just like, you know, not normal characters, but characters that, you know, you could populate the city with. And I'm really glad that they did that for this group of minis. So that's a noble. What else did I get? You get 4 in each, right? Ooh, look at this. The Black Viper. I think I might have opened one with her in it already, but she is a side character that you may meet in Waterdeep Dragon Heist as well. Vivid Vivka, the performer, you may have seen her at the Stream of Many Eyes cosplaying as this character, so that's really cool. What else? What's the next one? This one's got a very long spear. This is the City Guard. Great. I love how these are all like things that you can definitely use in Waterdeep right now. This is what the City Guard looks like, and funnily enough, I love how similar this looks to our guards did at the Stream of Many Eyes too. Very cool. I really hope I open a Silgar. I really hope I do. Nope. What's my large one? A Shield Guardian. Ooh, he's big, and he's gonna. We're gonna fight. We're gonna have a fight. Let's have a. Oh, your helmet. That's as far as I'm going to go with that Spaceballs reference. So this is when Pelham walks in. He's like, no, I didn't see you playing with your toys again. These are very cool. I love these. I'm going to bring these home to my girls, and we are going to play with them. Hopefully play Dungeons & Dragons with them, but at the very least get to play with them. And again, I love, this is the Noble is here, but there's also a Merchant in this this book, in this set of 44 figures from Wheeze Kids. These are available in stores now. Go check them out if you can. And as some people were mentioning in here, there's a lot of really fun named characters that you can get in this set too, including the Black Viper, she's down there, or the Xanathar. I think Mert is in there as well too, which Chris Lindsay was just doing voiceover lines as Mert, the moneylender. I'm not going to butcher that accent, but it is there. Cool. So check that out. Also, one final physical thing. I showed this a little bit before, but this is a Dungeons & Dragons calendar. It's a 16-month 2019 calendar. How does that work? It means that they can sell it now, and there's a page that has 4 months on it, so you can get some of 4 months of 2018 in there. But it all uses art from previous adventures or the core rule books, and it looks really, really awesome. So check that out. All those fine pieces of art are available in there. I don't know if I have an exact link of where you can get this, other than to say it will be in kiosks, in malls, and other commercial spaces everywhere. Yes, thank you, Pelham, for saying I didn't say you're playing with my dolls. You've completed the reference. You've done good things. So yeah, go check it out if you can. I'm trying to find out where I can get you a direct link if you would like to purchase that. But it's really awesome, I think, to see something like this Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition art be on stores. I kind of just want this to be like next to the cat inspirational cat calendars and the Seattle Seahawks calendars and all that, and just I'd be like, hey, yeah, this is the one that's going to sell out. And then once it sells out, people will know they want to get it in all their calendar kiosks going forward. You know what I'm saying? All right, D&D is running a survey right now. You can take it. I think there's only a couple more days in which we'll be getting this stuff. There is tons. It's a long survey. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna take a investment in some of your time, but it's super valuable for us to know what it's like for real players of Dungeons and Dragons out there. With a game like D&D that doesn't include a real digital component to be a part of it. I mean, obviously you can play with a digital component, but it's not necessary, and we're getting data from our partners on that front. But we know so many people play Dungeons. Well, actually, that's not true. We are aware that people play Dungeons and Dragons without interacting with any of those digital systems, and it's really kind of impossible for us to know what your tendencies are like without asking through surveys like this. So I encourage you to take this survey. Answer it as truthfully to yourself and your group as you can. Spread the word. Get as many people out there taking this survey as possible. More data is always better, and it just allows us to create the products going forward that we know that people out there want. So if you're interested, if you've always wanted to tell us what you think, now is the time to tell Wizards of the Coast what you think about Dungeons & Dragons and how this has all been going down in 5th edition so far, or even just how you play Dungeons & Dragons and what makes you tick as a Dungeon Master or as a player. All of those things are super valuable, and they're all contained within that survey. Obo Crazy put the link on there. Volk 551. It's a couple of things up there, but he'll mention it again. It's totally worthwhile. Again, we appreciate all the time put into answering all these, and we'll be pouring over all of the answers. And we've gotten thousands and tens of thousands of responses so far, so that's been really heartening, and we just want to get as many as we can going forward for all that. So thank you to anyone who has taken the survey in the past or already, and you're good people. Volk 551, sorry about that, man. It looks like Crystal Fire put it in there as well. So do it. Maybe even do it while you're watching Dice Camera Action, which is going to start in about 7 minutes. On the nose. Well, that's not true because I'll probably go long like I do. But again, a couple of the things I just want to make sure I talk about before I give it up to Pelham. Extra Life. We are raising tons of money for Extra Life for the Seattle Children's Hospital this year. We want you to be involved as much as you can. November 3rd is the kickoff date for all of the streamed games. We'll be doing 3 streamed games here from the Wizards offices on that day, and then all of our streaming shows that week will participate. So your favorite one, Clerical Error. I think I just put up my Extra Life page today, or at least updated it today, and I think I'm actually gonna, can I link that in the chat? I think I'm actually be able to. Let me do that while I'm talking about it. But Clerical Error will be raising money for this for all of it. I just did it. Did you guys see it? Yeah, there it is. Ba-ba. So I don't like looking at myself though. That makes me weird. So I'm going to close that immediately. So yeah, be a big part of it. It's awesome. That's my page. I think that link will go to my page and it'll make sense. Donate there if you want to be involved. If you want to raise money for kids through Extra Life, play some Dungeons and Dragons. Get a page going, join the Dungeons & Dragons team, and all of your contributions will all be totaled under the amount that the Dungeons & Dragons team is bringing towards Seattle Children's Hospital, and get the word out. It's a great way to play games while also supporting a great charity that helps kids in those hospitals. So I really encourage you to do it. Again, all the stream games that we have here on the D&D Twitch channel will be participating, and then the week following November 3rd. There's a special game on November 10th at Game Hall Con. I think there's actually 2 games at Game Hall Con in Wisconsin, kind of anchoring the whole Extra Life promotion that we'll be doing. So watch those. Some really big heavy hitters are participating in those games. So go to dnd.wizards.com/extralife to find out more about that entire schedule and join a group. Or if you have the wherewithal, donate to some of the pages of the folks that you like here on this channel. As I said, I just put up my page with some new stuff. You can do a page for Lauren. You can do a page for Chris Perkins and the rest of the Dice Camera Action crew. Anybody that you love here on the D&D channel is helping to raise money for this. We'll also have t-shirts that you can purchase and wear with pride. That all the proceeds to that will also go towards the Extra Life total and all that stuff. So want to make sure you knew all about all that. I don't think there's anything else I wanted to chat about. I think I actually kind of covered it all. I didn't get to go through too many of what's happening over the streams this week, but follow us on social media. Again, I'm at Greg Tito. At Wizards_DND is where we're at on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook as well as Instagram, and you'll get all of the latest information that way. And if you haven't, check out Dragon Plus. It is an app that you can download for your Android or mobile iOS device that gets tons of updates, lots of great content about what's happening, deep dive articles about designing games in the Dungeons & Dragons world, and it's super great. New issue is coming out next week, but the previous issue was all about kids, so totally relevant for those of you who are interested in finding about how to run games for kids, how Dungeons & Dragons can benefit children, as well as just healthy children, as well as ones who are sick. Tons of great content in there, as well as information about the urchins that the Waffle Crew has played as before, as well as how they are integrated with the artwork that's in Waterdeep Dragon Heist. All right, you guys are all fantastic. Download Podcast of Waterdeep if you can. That's on the Dungeon Delve RSS feed for more information about what's happening in Waterdeep and a great, entertaining 10-part story to boot. And that's it. I'm out of here. Go have fun watching Dice Camera Action. It'll start in about 3 minutes. And you are all fantastic. So thank you very much. And I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.